Well, on Tuesday night, it all started with some magic.
And now Mansfield can come away because it's Reece Oates in possession through the centre circle. Reece Oates battling forward to the edge of the box. It's Reece Oates! It's Reece Oates! And it is magic from Roadrunner Reece Oates, who split open Colchester United and sent three defenders. Watch this! Bang! 1-0.
What a goal. He's picked the ball up inside his own half. He's gone by three players. Every single one of them's trying to take his legs. And I tell you something now, there's not many players would have stayed on the feet there. But he's kept going, 25 yards out. Great strike. What a great goal. Roadrunner, beep beep.
It set the tone for the night. And Jordan Bowery in the 90th minute managed to get on the score sheet from the penalty spot to make it 2-0. There the Stags thought it would be easy. But Colchester United had other ideas and made it tense late on and have done something we all didn't want. A, made me lose my voice, and B, put Cam in the driving seat for tonight's podcast. That's right, I'm out. I'm not taking part at all tonight. Cam is in charge, so please be nice to him as he looks back on Colchester in midweek and looks ahead to tomorrow's long trip to Bristol Rovers. Can the Stags make it 10 unbeaten in Sky Bet League 2? 9 wins from their last 10 games. Get involved in the comments. Have your say on your team on the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because Mansfield matters. Hashtag bring back Craig. Hashtag where's Craig's voice. Hashtag sack Cam. Ladies and gentlemen, settle down. This is the Mansfield Matters podcast. Can't believe I'm saying this. With your host, Cam Felton. Good luck, everyone. I'll see you on the other side.
Good evening and welcome to the Mansfield Matters podcast, the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because Mansfield matters, of course. And firstly, before we get started tonight, I just want to wish Craig all the best. He's not too well at the moment. Reece Oates has gone and took his voice with him on Tuesday night after that first goal. And it just didn't seem to get any better from there on in. So he's saving his voice tonight. Obviously, a long trip down to Bristol Rovers tomorrow. Important that us as listeners can hear his voice along with Lee Wilson. So I'm in charge. Who would have thought that one? Joining me tonight on the podcast, we've got the regulars. We have got Mr. Clive Parkin.
Good evening.
And accident-prone Alan Wilson.
Good evening, Cam, and good evening, everybody.
Nathan said he might join us a little bit later on if he can get on, but I'm not 100% sure, though. He did find out that I'm hosting. Firstly, lads, Tuesday, 3 points, and we were going into that game thinking Colchester's going to be a difficult team. Unbeaten in 4, but that was a competent, confident Mansfield performance on Tuesday night.
I thought so. I was well impressed, and I thought it was an excellent debut by Mr. Murphy. He tied towards the end, which, he gave he stipulated to Nigel Clough that I want to come off, probably about, 20 minutes before the end, something like that, 15. He was tiring. But fair play to him.
His precise words, Alan, was, "Gaffer, I'm knackered."
Yeah, well, whatever, it worked anyway. But yeah, I thought they did a well-deserved job. They played really well in the first half. Second half, they looked a bit leggy, but I think that's because Colchester changed their shape a little to try and nullify what we were doing, and it worked to a degree. But there's Reece Oates, my word, what a goal!
I think Craig and Lee in the commentary for that game, they're just running out of superlatives for Reece Oates this season. Clive, another fantastic performance, and he's done it again. He picks the ball up just inside his own half, and he just goes with it. And when Reece Oates is in one of their moods, there's just no stopping what he can do.
Do you know, I went to watch some junior football on the sports field near to where I live, and they got a team of 10-year-old lads playing against another team. And there was a Reece Oates there. He just, once he got the ball, he didn't have any teammates. He just shot off towards the goal. He scored about 8. And I think that sort of naive enthusiasm is worth having. But of course, he has other skills as well. He does actually have a turn of pace, which is incredibly useful at this level. But the game itself was an incredibly useful one to have, because it's the last home game for this month, and they've got 3 quite challenging away games in front of us. And I thought Colchester was a really good test for us. They're a far better team than their position would suggest. And they've got 1 or 2 dangerous players in their side, one of whom scored a worldie towards the end. And I think Alan's right. They were a bit naive in the first half, but their manager reshaped them for the second half, and they were quite troublesome at times. And their plan was right. If they'd started like that, it would have been a different game, I think. But we were worthy winners. I think we were worth more than a 1-goal advantage, but that's the way it goes.
Obviously, don't forget to get your comments down below. Have your say on your team. Also want to touch upon just how Colchester changed their style at half-time. They knew that they were in trouble, and to be honest, until we scored that second goal, very much did have us on the ropes. And I think firstly we've got to pay a lot of credit to Nigel Clough changing the team up, making sure that tired legs did come off. We could have easily let Murphy carry on playing, but we saw that it was tiring, and we had to make that change. Unfortunate to lose Stephen McLaughlin towards the tail end of the game due to a concussion sub, but Nigel Clough said he should be all right for this weekend. But a big play to be losing, especially when you're under the cosh in the last 15, 20 minutes.
I think that's right, Cam, but I think if you'd have turned it on its head, and like Clive said just a couple of minutes ago, if they'd have started like that, I think Nigel would have changed our route, our way we were playing in the first 20 minutes or so. I don't think he'd have left it till half time like they did.
Well, the good news, Alan, is he can do that now, can't he? Because he's got such versatile players and a bench that's the envy of the division, I would have thought, that he can shift things around if necessary.
Yeah, I suppose that is something that we've brought up many times this season, the versatility that we've got off the bench, and then all of a sudden we've got no versatility off the bench. We had Danny Johnson out injured, Stephen Quinn was suspended, Ollie Clark was suspended, and players weren't pulling the weights. But now we've got essentially too many players, and tough choices have got to be made. But with such a busy schedule coming up, it's far more important to have depth in the squad. And will the game on Tuesday night affect how we go into tomorrow's game at Bristol Rovers?
I don't think so. So I think Matty Longstaff will have a big part to play in the last 18. Is it 18 or 19 games we've got left? 18 or 19, whatever it is.
Around there, yeah.
He'll have a very big part to play, same as quite a few of the others. I mean, Ollie Clark came on and he didn't look, as if he hadn't played for the first 80 minutes. Everybody that comes on seems to know the role now and do a damn good job. Like Ferenc Ross, I know. But why on earth didn't Hewitt just kick it into Rowe's head? And then he wouldn't have had to foul him, because he just can't play that sort of game. Just get it out, kick it in Rowe's head like Hawkins does.
I think Hewitt is a lovely... Alan Hewitt's a lovely bloke. I like him a lot. And he's certainly on the ticket for one of the most improved players since the start of the season. But he just proved again that he's got a little bit of brain missing. And it emerges every now and again. He does something stupid. And that was it. That was his stupid. But it's 6 or 7 weeks since he's had a stupid spell. So I'm all right with that.
I don't think Nigel was.
Well, Nigel's a perfectionist, isn't he? He never, in his career, he scored lots of goals, but he never ever missed anything. Never missed a thing.
Oh, man, he's got a big name to live up to, Sen. You never know.
I'll tell you what, Alan picked up on the point, we've still got unused talent coming through. And obviously we've still got Lapsley on a journey of recovery, which is probably a month or so away. But we've got an abundance of riches now. I think the two new players in Akins and Murphy, they're not quite ready, but they performed well given the circumstances. As they get onto top form, we're going to be a pretty dynamic side.
Elizabeth in the comments says, great goal by Oates, a good performance by Murphy as well. He's going to be a key player in games to come. Now, I just want to bring up Jamie Murphy, firstly. His first start for Mansfield, and he looked dangerous. Going forward, looked quite dangerous, quite unlucky not to... Ball just wouldn't fall for him at some parts during the game, but it's... positive to see that a player that's not been at Mansfield all that long has managed to slot themselves into the squad and play as if he's been there all season.
I think that's because of the seasoned pro that he is, Cam, in my opinion. I mean, he just did slot in. I know he had either one or two training sessions with them, and he said that he'd enjoyed it. He obviously has played with Nigel Clough's team and the way he plays before. And I thought he slotted in perfectly. And like you say, it was very unfortunate not to score.
He was very confident with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, he was. I think going forward, he's going to be a very dangerous player. He looks hungry. He looks a little bit greedy. It looks like he wants to shoot quite a bit. And I think that's something that Mansfield definitely does need, especially in League Two. You just need... You don't need a player that's going to want to walk the ball in, pass, try and pass it into the goal. You need someone that's going to want to run at the defence, like Rhys Oates does, and just have a shot and just hope for the best.
That's a good point, Cam, because around me and the Ian Greaves upper, generally speaking, everybody's a happy bunch at the moment. But there are still the people that grown men that we work ourselves into positions where one of the options is to shoot, and we choose not to. Now, I think there are times when you shouldn't, don't get me wrong. But there have been people who've opened up decent opportunities for themselves. And my view is, if you've got a chance, fire it in. You'll either score or you embarrass yourself by shooting it into the dam, or it'll bounce off someone else. There's lots of opportunities come from shooting. And to try and create the perfectly planned and executed training ground goal is wonderful. But I think there are times when you just need to do the most direct thing.
Speaking of training round routines, Nigel in his post-match, he mentioned about the pass back and John Joe O'Toole sticking it miles wide. I think a lot of Mansfield fans are thinking, when was the last time we saw a pass back at Field Mill? I'm very much jogging my memory to even try and remember one. And like Clough said, it's not something that you practice in training all that often. So fair play for John Joe to actually stand up and just say, I'm gonna hit this.
They're very hard to score from. I mean, you'd think if you're shooting from 3 or 4 yards out, you've got every chance of be succeeding. But in practice, I think it's terribly hard. In fact, in my world, you lamp it back 10 yards, give somebody a chance to shoot as the defenders rush out. But we don't get many of those because referees don't award them. You know, the rule is there that you shouldn't pass back to your goalkeeper, but using your feet. But a lot of times they turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah, it's always accidental or it was
unintended.
Was a deflection. Yeah.
I think if it had been a little bit more central, I think Macca would have got himself onto the ball and said, no, this is mine. But it was just to the right, weren't it? You know, so it was ready for a right-footed player, as it were. But a little bit more central, I think Macca would have had a go at that.
As a defender, you don't fancy standing that close to somebody who's going to lamp it. You know, you've only got so much you can do to cover your essential parts.
I'll say
even Hawkins did.
You're 6 yards out. You know you've got to take a touch before you hit it. You know a defender's going to be right on top of you. You've just got to hit it as hard as you can. If you're that defender that gets in the way,
you're a hero.
You are a hero, but ouch. Chris in the comments said, been watching a Rovers blog today. They are hoping for a draw, but expecting a loss. Now, throughout this season, we've very much been, we started off first 3 games quite good, unbeaten in the opening 3, and then obviously 14 without a loss.
Without a win.
Without a win,
14 without a win, yeah.
And we were very much like nobody feared playing Mansfield or feared coming to Field Mill. But now, teams that should have probably got something out of those games. I think Bristol Rovers opening day, we were very lucky to get that win. Obviously, the penalty right at the end. But
they were also fortunate to get their goal, I thought. So
yeah, they were. It was a cracking goal.
The score didn't reflect it, but we were on top of that game. But it just goes to show you need more than one to defend.
But does it prove that how far Mansfield have come? The fact that we're travelling to a ground that's notoriously quite hostile, and they're hoping for a draw. What does that say about Nigel Clough and his team and what they've built?
It says a lot about the 9 games unbeaten, at home, but obviously the 15 in 17 or 14 a draw in 17, whatever it is. And I think people are standing up and taking notice of that. But I do believe, irrespective, whether we're 5th or whether we're the top of the league like Forest Green, starting to run away with it a little, I think Nigel will just keep them level-headed and they'll just play their own game, like we have been doing. We haven't been going gung-ho at teams. We've been playing passing football and it's worked. And if it doesn't work tomorrow, in the first 20 minutes, he's got people on the bench and also people in the team where it can change the situation and take it from there. I just think we're on a win-win situation now. I think, irrespective whether we win, lose or draw, we're doing rather well and people are having to sit up and take notice.
Yeah, we certainly haven't got a reputation of being a thuggy side. I think there are times to be thuggish, but we've not needed to do it during this run. We've played our way to wins, and that's incredibly important. And of course, people do see it, do take notice of it. I think the Bristol fans just been a little bit guarded in his enthusiasm, perhaps. But I think it's going to be a real test. Nobody told me it was a hostile place to go. By the way, I'm having my hair painted blue and yellow tomorrow, and I'm heading down there. I'll be all on my own. I'm going to be. I'm going to have to put my face in the hospital.
We'll think of you, Clive.
No. Oh, Liam in the comments says, no egos in this team. It's class unlike the ones with all the others. We see players who fight for the badge. Very much so. I think the way that we've adapted over this season and also the players that we've brought in, very much wanting to play for the badge and not a name on the back of the shirt. Players like Elliot Hewitt massively improved over this season. Ollie Hawkins coming in with a big reputation and just doing his job. Danny Johnson so easily could have just been a little bit arrogant and cocky when he came in, but he's really dug in for the side. How important is it to have good lads in the dressing room to actually do something on the pitch rather than just be selfish?
Well, I was lucky enough to get to do the man of the match interview with Rhys Oates at the end of the game because Chris Revel was unavailable on Tuesday night in the sponsors lounge. And that's one thing he alluded to. He says he has never known a dressing room like it for camaraderie. He says the training is one, because I just basically asked him, what do you think, what do you put it down to? And he says, even when we come in training, we can all have breakfast together if we want, or we can eat it at home. We come out onto the training pitch. Everybody gets on with each other. Then when we've done all his drills and his passing and everything else, we have a little bit of fun at the end of it, to calm it down again. And then we go in again. And if you want lunch together, we have lunch together. And it just breeds confidence, I think.
Do you think anyone that tries to spoil the party is very much on Bobby's dog route? If
I would say so.
It's got to be a punishment coming up. So I've got just a very quick comment. Elizabeth King, it seems that it's Roger King, but his iPad's died and
he's in transition.
He's in transition. Right then, boys. Very quick one. Voting. Who do we want to hear from first? Rhys Oates or Nigel Clough?
Well, I keep saying the player, so I'll go with Nigel this time.
And I'll go with Rhys to give you the casting vote, Cam.
Oh, there we go.
Such power.
Such power. So that he opened the scoring on Tuesday night. Roadrunner Rhys Oates talking to Craig Priest from Mansfield 103.2 after the game.
Your previous club, you won goal of the season. I think tonight, wearing Mansfield colours, you've just added another contender, haven't you? Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be quite hard to beat, but the way we've been playing, you never know. We're scoring goals left, right, and centre, and I think anyone could go and win it on any day. So we'll see.
Just talk us through that goal from your perspective, then, because from the stands it was absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, it's one of them where they've got a lot of players forward because it's their set piece, and I know that I can probably beat most players for pace. So as soon as I got the ball, I just get my head down and run. I think one of them's tried to chop me down, but not quite managed it, and so I was just 1v1, and the ball's bobbled up, and I thought I'm just going to hit it, and I think thankfully it did.
I think a lot of people sort of talk about your pace, but I think the composure there as well to sort of battle through those four and avoid the temptation to go down and try and nick a cheap free kick as well says a lot.
Yeah, I did. I considered to keep going, maybe go in the box and potentially win a penalty again, like the other week. But as soon as it bobbled up, I thought I'm just going to hit this, and it went in the top corner. I can't complain.
And the celebrations typified this Mansfield side, didn't it?
Yeah, I think everyone was in our box, and by the time I'd slid on my knees, everyone was there and jumping on top of me. So it shows how together we are as a squad and how confident we are as a team. Yeah.
And I think that shows as a whole tonight, because kept going all the way to the 90th minute. The Ollie Clark winning the penalty, and then when they score late on, people literally throwing themselves in front of the ball.
Yeah, Ollie Clark and Kieran Wallace made two great blocks in the 97th, 98th minute. Everyone's just putting the bodies on the line to keep the ball out the net and just keep getting the 3 points week in, week out.
Let's turn our attention to you. First chance we've had to see you without a blur around you. We call you Road Runner on air because you're just absolutely rapid. What are you finding life like at Mansfield Town? Since you've sort of settled in, you're finding that rich fame of form, which sort of, certainly got fans excited when you first signed.
Yeah, it's great. The atmosphere, day in, day out at training. All the lads get on. It's a great atmosphere between all of us, the staff, the gaffer, everyone. They're all great with me, and they look after me when I need to be looked after, and it's just a good feeling around the place, and it's been great since I came in.
Mentally, how much of a satisfying feeling is it once you feel settled in an area? Does that really help you gain progress like it has on the pitch?
Yeah, it helps you to relax. You can just get back to playing the way you know how you play, especially when the players get to know how you play and you know how they play. So when I make the runs, I know that Macca, Quinney, Maris, Elliot Hewitt, they're all going to play those passes for me. So if I make the runs, I know it's coming. So it's great.
And of course, in the January window, Nigel Clough, the manager, has added some real quality in the round. You played alongside Jamie Murphy tonight. What was that like? Is it difficult sometimes when a new player comes in to try and figure it out? Because it seemed like you had it pretty nailed down quite early on.
I don't think so. He trained yesterday. We did some shape, and I think he's fitted in really well. His work rate's unbelievable. Lucas is the same. Both of them just. Even if I need a breather, they're running off me, and they're pressing, they're closing down, and it's just if you work well as a team, just work as hard as you can. We've got the subs to make changes and get fresh legs on, and the lads that came on today have done exactly the same. Ollie Clark won the penalty, Bowes scored it, Kieran's making last minute blocks, and it's just amazing.
You've made a real impact here. The fans have got a little chant about you. I'm sure you've heard it from the pitch as well. What's it like when you've got 3,500, nearly 4,000 fans chanting your name, sort of spurring you on in games?
Yeah, it gives you a massive lift, especially late on when you're towing a bit and you know it's your legs are getting heavy, and they just give you a lift to just keep going and keep pushing yourself to the limits, and it's like a 12th man out there, and I think that's why his home form's been so good in the last 9 games. We've won the last 9 games, so I think it shows that they're like a 12th man for us.
And of course, the difficult thing mentally now is the fact that you're on the road quite a bit. But again, the Stags faithful go in their numbers.
Yeah, they do. They travel up and down the country for us, and a lot of the time you can hear them over the home fans, even on away days. They're singing full 90 minutes again, and they've just been amazing. So I think the next 3 weeks they'll probably travel in the numbers again, and we just got to keep doing what we've been doing.
Now you've got promotions under your belt at previous clubs. What does it take? What's the difference in the dressing room between a side that finishes mid-table and a side that's capable of going on and getting the silverware?
I think you just have to keep digging in and just work as hard as you can as a team. If you put 100% into every game, the results will come. Just be confident in what we do and know how we play. Just stick by how we play and we'll be all right, I think.
18 games to go. Can we do it?
We'll see. I hope so.
Don't forget you can travel away to Newport County coming up on the 19th of February with the SSA. Departure time from the One Call Stadium is 8:30 a.m. £15 for Amber members, £20 for Blue members, £25 for non-members. Further information, call 07967 689 597. 07967 689 597. Roadrunner Rhys Oates, what a man, firstly. I think he's probably one of the nicest guys in football. And the way that he talks about Mansfield and the way that he talks about the rest of the players, surely if you're in that Mansfield Town dressing room and you hear that after the game and him talking highly of not only of the whole team performance, but specific players, i.e. Lucas Akins and Jamie Murphy, playing their first full game for Mansfield, surely that's a massive boost in confidence for yourself.
I think it's because he's settled in, Cam. It took him a while, and he admitted that. There's quite a few players, like even Nigel said, it will take players time to settle in. But boy, has he settled in, and he's producing the goods now. And just before we go on about, Clive goes on about Rhys Oates, did anybody else see any similarity between Jamie Murphy and a very young Louis Briscoe? I'll just put that one out there.
Where I was sat in a different place to where I'd usually sit. I was in the bottom tier, more towards the away fan, because I got a friend that's a Colchester fan, so I sat near them. But it was a little bit too close for me to see his movement, because he was like 10 yards away from me, if that. So it was quite
just
difficult.
The way he wasn't frightened to take a man on, and if there was a pass there, he'd take it, and he wasn't afraid to have a shot as well. It just reminded me a bit of Louis Briscoe. I hope he does as well as he did.
It's encouraging that he's got the confidence in his very first game to take people on and to try and do what he's skilled enough to do, because inevitably one of the options is to be extra cautious when you first come onto the team. But to me, I thought he was a splendid player. He did run out of energy, no question about that. But while he was on the pitch, I thought he was a really worthwhile ingredient to the team. And I think he'll be a mainstay for the rest of this season.
Yeah, definitely. Alan in the comments has said the team spirit is optimised by the reaction after our wins by Marek Stek. He's very much become a cheerleader of recent, and even though he's on the bench and he's probably not looking like he's going to get a game, because Bishop doesn't really do much on the pitch. He just stands and lets the rest of the team do it. But we know that we've got the confidence on the bench as well.
It's like I was saying a very early podcast when I first started coming on here and joining in. When I was lucky enough to do the announcing when there was nobody in the ground, the players and the substitutes all came and sat up just outside my box. And I have mentioned in the podcast that Marek Stek is a very, very nice chap. He always came in and he wanted to know how many minutes were left, who's doing what, what's this, what's that. And he just seems a nice, genuine guy. And I think he's just getting carried away. Now he's second in command, as it were. If Bishop falls foul or anything and he has to step in, I think he's just enjoying that. He's like got a new lease of life, if you like. Yeah,
definitely. And I think another person that's particularly bringing the energy on the pitch is Jordan Bowery. Now, a lot of people did give him a lot of grief on several different pages, like why we still got him. I'd say Tuesday night was very much the reason why we still got Jordan Bowery and why he's so effective. The ball comes in from the wing, it's hammered away by Stephen Quinn, and who's there? Jordan Bowery, head down, drives at the goal, squares it for Ollie Clark, and we win the penalty. He slots it away. Job's all but done. 2-1. And What else can we say about Jordan Bowery this season? He can provide, he can score, and it's just a joy to watch him play when he's got such confidence.
I tell you what, I mean, everybody's in love with him at the moment, but it wasn't that long ago that a fair number of our fickle fans were after his blood. You know, they didn't give him the credit for the work he was putting in. All they could see was him not scoring goals. I'm afraid that's some Stags fans for you. And I think that the very same people were very critical of Oates in the first dozen games because he wasn't achieving what they expected from him, but the team wasn't either. I mean, we had a real tough set of circumstances and players playing out of position and players having to take on extra responsibilities, and nobody gave him credit for that. And even during our horrible period, we never got hammered because the players were working hard, but we needed a bit more than we got. And, you know, I can remember the game that I think was the turning point. Well, the low point was at Sixfields. That was the game when I was critical of the players' attitude. But that's the only time since. And I think when we played Tranmere at home and we beat them, and this is a team that doesn't concede goals, by the way, and we beat them, that was a springboard for our success going forward. And it was no mistake that Oates has started to become very important in this recovery.
And did you notice who went straight for the ball when we got the penalty? I don't know whether it was I don't know whether it was said beforehand, you know, that whoever's on, you know, i.e. Hawkins or whoever's on, because I mean Macca had gone off, hadn't he? And he took the last one, but Barry went straight under arm. This is mine. And
you wouldn't argue with him, would you?
No, well, it's confidence, isn't it? Confidence. It probably felt a bit aggrieved, you know, not to be in the team because he's been playing well, but you know, it certainly proved his worth when he came on.
I wonder how much it played on his mind that he missed that penalty in the pointless trophy up at Harrogate, because immediately after he hit the crossbar, they went to score at the other end. So I'm blaming him for missing a goal and giving a goal away. But I tell you what, I mean, I've played football at a local level, and if you miss a penalty, you don't want to take another one. you hide, and he doesn't do that, does he?
Obviously, we saw what Jordan Bowery can do last season in front of goal around Christmas, and then the same sort of period as last season. Obviously, last season, the reason he maybe dropped out of form was the amount of games that we got called off in such a short space of time, but he very much seems to have hit the ground running again this after Christmas once again, and putting in fantastic performances. And from being criticised for not scoring enough goals, not only does he go and actually score the goal, but he actually provides it as well. So there's definitely the confidence there that Jordan's got. Roger in the comments has said a very bad tackle on Akins. The Colchester lad was very lucky to got a yellow. Was very lucky to remain on the pitch.
It was a poor referee, though, wasn't it? To be fair, it was one of the worst referees we've had, and that's saying something for League Two. I didn't think he commanded the game at all, and it was too quick with certain cards and too reticent with others. And his linesman was blind as well, which didn't help. Anyway, that's me. I love referees and officials. I do.
I'll say I was watching it was the Nottingham Forest game on the Wednesday night, and a Blackburn player got sent off for nearly the exact same thing, but didn't even really make contact. The Forest player kind of just flopped around. And do you think that play acting by the players very much comes into it? I mean, Akins went down like a sack of spuds, at least as if he'd been shot. But when players do get rolling around, I think the one that springs to mind is the Harrogate game at home when Clark and Quinn got sent off. And does it just show that games can be affected by referees, and the actual result could be affected directly by what the referees do and don't do?
I think it all depends how they start as well, Cam. You know, if they get a good couple of decisions and nobody moans, everybody carries on with the game, the crowd don't start, you know, getting on the backs and whatever, that's a big factor. It's like a player, I suppose, in that respect. But, you know, if they have a good start, have a good first 20 minutes, the odd foul here and there, get the game flowing, it does help. But, you know, like you said, when they start, you know, diving about and whatever, getting points out of 10 for being injured, it does, it spoils the game. But it's something that they've got to live with.
Whilst we're on about the red cards and suspensions and yellow cards, we've got 3 big games coming up on the road, and we've got someone like Ollie Hawkins, who's been an influential player this part of the season. How important is it that we've got squad rotation, firstly, to keep players fit over these next 18 games? Because if you look at the fixtures list, it's after the end of this month, it's Saturday, Tuesday, pretty much for all of March, except a couple of Friday games mixed in there. How important is it that we are actually able to rotate our squad when we know that we've got big games coming up? Obviously, Bradford at the end of the month, Newport next week, Bristol Rovers tomorrow.
It's vital. I mean, there's 3 very challenging away games. We need the depth of the squad, and we've got it now. And on the subject of discipline, Hawkins, if he gets another yellow card in the next 9 games, he has a 2-match suspension. I think it's almost inevitable. You want him to be aggressive and you want him to go in for things, that he's going to pick something up in that time. I hope he doesn't, but I think it's odds on. I'd put money on it. But we can afford to lose him now. That's no disrespect to the lad, but if this had been earlier in the season, we'd have been panicking.
And one other interesting aspect about that, Clive, if we do lose him, and just say Ferenc Rawson comes in because he'd be the ideal candidate, and he does well, and we keep on this run, it's another headache for Nigel, isn't it?
Well, you start to think about using the bloke coming back from suspension for the job you bought him for.
Yeah, up front.
Yeah. But
obviously,
it's working at the moment. You can see Nigel doesn't want to change this defensive setup he's got, and that does incorporate Hawkins. But every fan wants to see Hawkins up there nodding them in. Of course, the beauty of his height is he'll go up for every free kick and corner anyway. Sorry, Cam, I interrupted you.
No worries. Obviously, it is going to be difficult coming on 3 away trips, and they're not the best away trips. Bristol Rovers and Newport, very much the same part of the country, but always horrible ones to go to, stuck in traffic. Do you think that will put a lot of fans off going to them?
Well, there's no evidence of that. Sorry, everybody. There's no evidence of that. There are 3 SSA coaches on tomorrow. That wouldn't have happened in previous seasons, I don't think. Plus, at least as many people again making their own way. I think we'll be well represented down at the dung heap. But we and of course we know from social media from the club that they've sold the initial allocation of Bradford tickets, and they've got another 1,000, I think, coming along, and they'll get snapped up. So I don't see any shrinkage of away support simply because some of the journeys are awkward. It'll be an interesting one for the Newport game. I think if we get something from Bristol, we'll go down there mob-handed as well.
Obviously, Clough has mentioned in the past that he has used substitutions to help fan back in, especially at home games. James Perch coming off the bench recently to help lift the crowd. How important is it that we keep these home crowds? Obviously, it's great when we're winning, but we're not going to win every game between now and the end of the season. And are we kind of hoping and praying that fans do kind of stick with us to the rest of the season? Now we've got such a fantastic promotion chance or playoff chance or whatever, and we got 4,800 on a Tuesday night against a Colchester team who were 19th, 20th in League Two. So
go on, Cam. Sorry.
No, so first, it's credit to the Mansfield team. We were thinking in that run of 14 games, the attendance has never really dwindled. So is it worth saying like now, like if you've ever not got a game to go to, go and watch Mansfield?
Yeah, well, the good thing about it this year, for my perspective, forget the announcers, Ed, my perspective as a fan, is we've seen them at the worst, when we've had the problems at the beginning. We've seen them at the possibly, I don't know whether it's the best yet we've seen, but we've seen a damn good version of it. So I just think the people will follow us through thick and thin. They can see what Nigel's trying to do. They've seen the endeavours Nigel, the Radfords and David Sharp have made in the transfer kitty. And so, it just bodes well. It brings strength on from the fans, and like you said, 4,700 and whatever on a Tuesday night. I think we were the third highest on Tuesday night, and that takes some beating.
Well, we've certainly put on at least 1,000, probably 1,500 fans on a regular basis during from the start of this season, and the uptake of the half-season tickets was quite strong as well. So I think that everybody's there, and I don't think we would lose too much ground in terms of support if we lost the odd game. As you just alluded to, during the 14-game no-win run, we didn't lose too many fans during that time. I think they bought into the vision, and it's starting to materialise now. And certainly, I mean, every fan you talk to just sees automatic as the target, automatic promotion now as a target, the objective. And if we just maintain the form, a slightly less level of form than we've had in the last 10 games, we will be in the top three. Mathematically, that's got to happen. But it depends just how many we don't manage to win. Nigel will keep telling you we won't win them all. It doesn't happen that way. There's no rule says you can't win them all, except the rule of common sense. And you've just got to learn to live with defeat. And I think if I'm critical of some Mansfield fans, they're very poor at dealing with disappointment. But, they've not had too much reason to be disappointed lately. So we'll see. But the games we've got, the 3 games we've got away from home now are all in different ways quite a test. Test for the fans because we've got in 2 of them long journeys, and test for the club because these 3 clubs have all got something to offer, and they're all running a little bit disappointed at the moment. So I think they're gunning. But you made the point very early on, Cam, that clubs and their fans are a bit frightened of us at the moment. Great,
very much so. Obviously, Fans Forum Wednesday night at the 1861. Looking forward to meeting Nigel Clough and David Sharp. We're all going to this. We're going to Nando's before, I think. I'm not sure. We've not done a night out for a while. But what's the one thing that you really want to ask Nigel Clough and David Sharp? We've always got questions of why make this change? Why make that change? We should be signing this player and that player. Well, we can't hide behind a screen anymore. We can't hide behind keyboards. We've got a perfect opportunity to ask a question. Alan, I'll start with you. What question do you want to find out from Clough and Sharp the most?
Well, the question that I'd already sent in on my video link, it will be exactly the same question. Can Nigel or David, question to both of them, if they'll both like to answer it, can they see any similarities with the squads that they had when Nigel was at Burton and David was at Wigan, because they both gained promotion? I just wondered if they can see any similarities,
Clive?
I'm tempted to ask non-football questions on the basis that on the field, we're pretty much doing everything that can be expected of us. I think my question is around the customer experience, the fan experience at the One Call, because in some ways the One Call Stadium is great, but certainly there are facilities at the stadium that aren't good enough, and certainly won't be good enough if we're in the league above next year. And that brings the question, can you share with us what your views, your plans, your intentions are in the short to medium term for the Bishop Street side of the ground? That would be to David, by the way. That was David.
That's to David, yeah. Personally, mine would be what next for Mansfield Town? Personally, where does Clough and Sharp see them? Where does Clough see Mansfield as a playing side? Are we gunning for League One and going for consolidation? Are we going higher? Is David, like you said, are we going to be? Do we want to invest in the facilities at the One Call? It's perfect time to ask everyone. And when we've had 2 years of things being virtual, And it's nice just to be able to go out and ask these questions and actually get to meet them. So get yourself down to the one call on Wednesday night. We'll all be there. Come say hi. We're not all horrible. Craig's might have no voice still. But yeah, come say hi. Come say hi. Podcast prediction times. Now, I'm not too happy about this because I'm terrible at this. The league table, as it stands for the podcast prediction, Mr. Alan Wilson, you're in ninth place in 21
well, I didn't
points.
start till, halfway
start.
through, did I? So I'm happy with that. I'm happy.
I'm in 7th on 21 points as well.
Cam, if it's any consolation, if you're unhappy, well, I don't care.
I've just done really bad. Every time that we've done something on the Mansfield Matters podcast and it's related to score predictions or guessing teams, I've always done terrible. I don't know why. Craig's in 3rd on 28 points. Clive, you're in 2nd on 39. And Nathan is in 1st on 42 points. And I'm going to ignore the comment that Craig just left in our private chat.
I'll read it out. He says, the reason you're no good is you're not very good. And he used a word that rhymed with tit.
Right then. So the full league table currently is in 10th place. We've got Ricky Edge on 15, Alan Wilson on 21, Roger King on 21, me on 21, Steve Naden on 29, another Steve on 34. My dad is on 37 in 4th. Craig's in 3rd on 38. Clive is 2nd on 39. Nathan's top on 42.
Well done,
Difficult,
Nathan.
Very good. Difficult trip coming up tomorrow. And Craig's got his in already. He says a 4-1 win for the Stags with Oates, Akins, Murphy and O'Toole to score. Alan, I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah. I fancy it'll be Bristol Rovers 1, Mansfield Town 2, and I'm going to go with the deadly duo again of Oates and Bowery.
I think Craig's probably got that written down somewhere. Clive, Bristol Rovers prediction for you. Yes.
Well, I was going to say the same score as Alan, so I'm going to change it while I've got the chance. I was going to say 2-1 as well. So I'm going to go 3-1, the Stags. And I'm going to say Oates 2, Akins.
Oh.
You see, now, for the benefit of our missing friend, that's not taking advantage of the loose rules of this competition, because it's much better to nominate more players rather than nominate a player to have more than one goal, because your spread betting is better. But I'm doing it in the honest way. And I'm going to ignore the opportunities, the gaping holes in Craig's gaming plan that says that if you...
And he's gone.
Well done, Craig.
So what you forget, people, is I am still here and I have still got power.
That's quality, that. Quality.
Oh, that's brilliant. Bring him back. Clive, welcome
Some
back.
people just cannot stand criticism.
I don't think
3-1. It's going to be Oates and Akins.
Yeah, but I don't think Oates will score 2. That's why I've said Oates and Barry.
Well, you're
That's
entitled
just
to
my
your
personal
opinion. You're entitled to an opinion, however wrong it is.
We'll see.
Bring it back to the point, lads. I think we deserved a clean sheet Tuesday night. I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
Fair play. It was a fantastic free kick and it was perfectly placed and Bishop just couldn't get anywhere near it. But I think we deserved a clean sheet. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win tomorrow. And I think Murphy will score and I think Oates will score.
So we're all confident.
Let's hope that Oates is picked then.
So you find out he's got like food poisoning somewhere on the Friday night. He can't play.
Or it's reversed over Bobby.
Oh no! Oof. I genuinely think he'd get sacked if that were happened. I think Clough would ship him straight out. Don't forget,
You're at West Ham, and you just get two game fine.
That's very true. Don't forget you can play the podcast prediction game. Go onto the Mansfield Matters Facebook page. The link will be on there. Don't forget, rules. You've got to get your results in, your prediction in, a full hour before kickoff. So at 1:59, get your prediction in.
You're sacked because it's an hour and a minute. So this is
go away, Craig. You're not here.
Disappointing from you, Cam. Wasting my voice there.
All right, I'm on it.
Oh,
right,
come on, get it right. This is live, son. This is live. If you want to do this again, you've got to get the rules right. Come on.
Right, then let's end as usual by looking.
Use the link.
Yeah, use the link. It's on the Facebook page. Let's end as usual by looking back at Tuesday. Here's the tale of the tape as told by Craig and Lee Wilson on Mansfield 103.2.
There's something special about Tuesday nights under the lights. With 19 games to go in Sky Bet League 2, can Mansfield Town achieve a dream? That dream, League 1 football. The Stags have put themselves in a really good position. 9 games unbeaten in Sky Bet League 2, including a club record 8 consecutive wins. Mansfield Town make 2 changes from that side, which drew with Harrogate this time last week. Jamie Murphy comes in for his first start in a Stag shirt. He replaces captain Ollie Clark. Lucas Akins, who was also a January transfer window signing from Burton Albion, makes his first full start for the Stags. He replaces Jordan Bowery. So Mansfield Town, we think, in a 4-3-3 formation tonight, line up with Nathan Bishop in goal, a back four of Elliot Hewitt, John Joe O'Toole, captain Ollie Hawkins and Stephen McLaughlin, a midfield of George Maris, Ryan Sturck, Stephen Quinn, and a front three of Jamie Murphy, Roadrunner Rhys Oates and Lucas Akins. On the bench, Merrick Steck, Farron Rawson, Ollie Clark, Jordan Bowery, Danny Johnson, Kieran Wallace, and the man everybody's raving about, Matty Longstaff. Let's get 3 points on the board then tonight. 19 games to go. Can Stags make it 10 games unbeaten? There's the whistle from the referee, and we are indeed underway. A long ball forward from the number 4, Luke Chambers for Colchester. Is headed away by Elliot Hewitt in the right back position, headed back forward, but John Joe O'Toole is there to get it away. Flicked on by Rhys Oates, and Lucas Akins picks up the ball in the centre circle. It's sent it wide for McLaughlin. McLaughlin with space now down this left channel, driving forward. Inside it goes for Oates on the edge of the box. Can't quite get his touch right, and Colchester managed to get the ball away only as far as O'Toole inside the centre circle, though. Brought down by Quinn. Mansfield have started in that 4-3-3. Akins, the centre of the 3 strikers at the moment. Here's Murphy with his first touch for the Stags on the left-hand side. Driving up against the Colchester fullback. Murphy puts a decent ball in towards the box, looking for Maris at the far post, and it's scrambled away by Colchester. Hewitt tries to bring it down and keep the ball in play. Mansfield at the moment just watching another ball over the top, headed away by O'Toole. It's, Lucas Akins can't bring it down the other end. It will fall for Jamie Murphy though in the hole, who does well to turn his body back to goal on the halfway line. Run of pace now. He's got McLaughlin ahead of him and finds him on that left hand side. McLaughlin cuts past his man well. McLaughlin to the left of the box. He's squared it for Quinn, and he's put it wide of goal. Stephen Quinn from some 17 yards out. Excellent move started by Murphy. McLaughlin's great run into Quinn, but just couldn't get the connection right.
Yeah, brilliant move. You know, Murphy got on the ball again, slipped a great ball into Macca. Lovely cut inside and a pull back. And Quinn just knocked it wide, but it's a good sign for Mansfield. Really opened them up quite easy there.
Can the Stags bring it down on the edge of the area again with Murphy? Gets it to Akins, who shakes up to shoot, and it's wide of target, but it goes behind for a Stags corner.
I'll tell you something now. What a fantastic passage of play that was from Mansfield. Moving the ball so quick. And Murphy and Quinn, there you can see how, the experience. And now they moved it so quick, one-touch stuff. But it's the movement off the ball is fantastic to watch. And you can see why he's playing Akins up front.
Yeah.
Straight away. He's holding it up, he's physical, and he's looking. They're looking the part at the minute.
8 on the clock. George Maris delivers a right foot in swing corner towards that back post. It's running free in the box. It might fall back for Maris at the back stick. Tries to bend one in again, and it goes over the top of the bar. He was well within his right to have a hit there.
It was, but a bit ambitious. But listen. He tried to put one in the top corner. It didn't happen. But it's a good bit of pressure from Mansfield, and you can see they've got the quality to open this side up and move the board. It's only early days, so if they can keep playing like that, these could have some very tired legs with 20 minutes to go.
Colchester send pretty much everybody forward by one. They'll try and overload numbers in the box. A big cluster of players between the edge of the 6-yard box and the 18-yard line. It'll be a right-footed delivery over on that far side. The referee just having a word with the one-man wall of Rhys Oates. There's the whistle. In comes the delivery now to that near post. It's headed up in towards the area. It's not been dealt with yet by Quinn. It is now to the edge of the area for Oates to try and flick it on, but it's won immediately again by Gene Kennedy, who puts the ball back in towards the middle, headed away by McLaughlin. And now Mansfield can come away because it's Rhys Oates in possession through the centre circle. Rhys Oates battling forward to the edge of the box. It's Rhys Oates. It's Rhys Oates. And it is magic from Roadrunner Rhys Oates, who split open Colchester United and sent 3 defenders. Watch this. Bang. 1-0.
What a goal. He's picked the ball up inside his own half. He's gone by 3 players. Every single one of them's trying to take his legs. And I'll tell you something now, there's not many players would have stayed on the feet there. But he's kept going, 25 yards out. Great strike. What a great goal. Roadrunner. Beep, beep.
Good challenge by Sturck, who again does a Fagin to send Maris on his way inside the centre circle. What a pass that is. Wide left McLaughlin splits the Colchester defence, sets himself as McLaughlin. In comes the cross.
Yes!
Oh,
no!
Great save by the keeper.
It's a back pass.
That's got to be into the back of the net. Is that a penalty?
Yes, it's a back pass.
It was a back pass. The referee has stopped the game. The linesman's having a little look. He's having a chat with the defenders. I'm not sure what happened there, but Mansfield put on some immense pressure, and Akins really was so close to pushing the ball into the back of the net.
But see what I mean when I said beat that first press, when Sturck picked that ball up and they're attacking them, and it was a great ball in. And to be fair, what a great save.
10 to go before half-time. Mansfield have a unique free kick on the 6-yard line, bang central, after a back pass to the goalkeeper, Sam Hornby, from the defender, when Akins turned the ball towards goal. Who is going to queue up for this? It's a lottery. Lee Wilson says just smash it. Murphy eyeing it up. O'Toole saying I'll have a go. Akins inside the 6-yard box. Maris just outside of it. O'Toole, Murphy, Quinn there. It will be O'Toole! Oh! And he's put it over the bar. John Joe O'Toole from 6 yards.
Oh my God.
Absolutely skies it.
Oh dear me, it's not even at target. God, my.
So, that's nearer to my car, and I'm parked over the other side of Mansfield.
Dear me. That's why listen, they're always going to run out. Every single body, man and his dog, except for me and you's on the line. Just run up and smack it. If you can hit that straight in the goal without hitting somebody, then you're an hero. I'd have creamed it, me. But
I think he just got the connection wrong. He sort of hit it side foot, didn't he? Just laces.
He tried to put it in the top corner, and it ended up being woeful, wasn't it? So
I'll tell you what, as much as he claims that he used to be a number 10, that was a centre-half's finish.
That was, I want. Well, it's not even at top. Hey, up.
The Stag's going forward again. Here's Quinn. Plays it through.
He's in.
Here is Murphy to the left of the box. Murphy, good save by the keeper, who punched the ball away. Stag still have it with Maris. Shouts of handball. Referee says no, and it'll run back through to the other end. The fourth official looking to see how many minutes he's going to add on at the end of this game. Colchester's thrown in a dangerous position.
It's 5 at least.
Taken short. Colchester have the ball back again. In it comes towards the area. Akins flicks it up. It might run at the far post. Hooked back in towards the middle, headed away by O'Toole, and then Quinn completes the clearance towards Barry.
Right, Jordan.
Barry brings it down. Barry, he's got 2 men on him. Barry down the right-hand side. He's got Clark running through the middle. Here's Barry in the box. Squares it to Clark.
Oh, no! Penalty!
It is! And that's a golden chance for Mansfield. Jordan Barry with great composure. A ball to split the defence, and then that captain, Ollie Clark, with the run through the middle. And the referee has no hesitation, Lee Wilson, in pointing to the spot and saying penalty.
Absolutely. Stonewall penalty. Well done from Bowery. Great pace. Laid him in. Lovely from Ollie Clark. And Stonewall penalty. This is it. Put the game to bed now.
Jordan,
let's wrap it up.
Jordan Bowery has the ball under his arm, under the shoulder. Stephen McLaughlin took the last one away to our left. Bowery has missed a penalty this season away at Harrogate in the Papa John's Trophy, but he can score them as well. Jordan Bowery now has got a big chance on his hands. Can he get his 6th goal of the season? Bowery puts the ball on the spot away to our right, doesn't look at the keeper, turns his back. Bowery, hands on hips.
Power. You go with power. Don't try and place it.
5-step run up here. The referee sings the keeper side. Sam Hornby, who's done well to deny Mansfield on a few occasions tonight. Keeps him on his line, stops the encroachment. We're into the first of 7 additional minutes. Bowery to seal the game for Mansfield. There's the whistle from the referee. Jordan Bowery up against Hornby.
Yeah.
Bowery will score! Slots it into the bottom corner, sends Hornby the wrong way, and Mansfield Town have sealed another 3 points.
Game, set and match. Lovely penalty. Nice and low. Keeper's left. Sent the keeper the wrong way, and it's nothing more than what Mansfield deserve. You know, anything. This scoreline's flattered Colchester. It could have been 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's 3 points. It's what we needed. At the minute, another clean sheet. Roll on to Bristol Rovers now. It's another one ticked off, 18 to go.
Colchester come forward. Strong challenge by Hewitt. It'll be a free kick, and Hewitt will go into the referee's book
tonight,
here.
Hewitt has made some really poor decisions defensively. You know, we're 2-0 up. There's minutes left, and he's trying to take a risk. Just clear your lines and defend. Give them a corner, defend the corner. Now they've got a free kick in a dangerous position because he's tried, you know, it's just not done the safe thing, the clever thing.
20 yards from goal over on this near left-hand touchline. 2 steps in from the goal line. Alan Judge will take it. Mansfield 2, Colchester 0. Can the Stags hold on and keep their 3rd consecutive clean sheet here at One Call Stadium? Colchester send everybody forward. Every Stags player is back inside the box as well. Judge steps up, delivers the free kick towards that back post. It's gone in. Mansfield's clean sheet is gone, and Alan Judge gets a goal back for Colchester United, and Elliot Hewitt has to take a lot of the blame.
Absolutely. Elliot Hewitt has got to learn. He has got to. You cannot. We're 2-0 up. Just defend it. Put it in the stand. Defend. They had a free kick away in a dangerous position. You got somebody the quality of on the ball of
Alan Judge, wasn't
Alan
it?
Judge. You know, and it's 2-1.
That's time, shouts a fan behind me, but he'll add another minute on for the penalty and that goal from Judge moments ago. Colchester coming down this left-hand side. Rawson trying to defend it. It's an opportunity for a cross to come in towards the middle. It's not gone. Mansfield is still with it. Good block by Hawkins. Still not gone. Hawkins again. Still not gone. Here's a shot from the edge of the box. And a superb challenge by Ollie Clark to stop the ball going in. But Colchester come again down that far side. The referee looks at the watch. Holding on to Mansfield now. A deep cross comes in towards that back stick. And there's a goal kick for Mansfield. And from absolutely nowhere, Mansfield are absolutely on their backsides.
I'll tell you something now. When I used to play for Mansfield, in that changing room now, Elliot Hewitt would have been pinned up by his neck for what he done there by centre-halves. He has got to learn that you cannot defend like that. We're 2-0 up, and unless there was 2 great blocks, it could have been 2-2. Disaster.
Mansfield breathe again. Nathan Bishop takes his time over this goal kick. We've played the 7. We've played 8 additional minutes now. Referee looks at his watch, brings the whistle to the lips, and does call an end to another Mansfield Town victory. At full time, it is Mansfield Town 2, Colchester United 1.
So the Stags win 2-1 at home to Colchester in midweek, and you could hear in the last 30 seconds the moment where my voice absolutely went. But will he be back in time for tomorrow's full match commentary? You bet your bottom dollar it will. That is why I handed over to Cam tonight. And Cam, I know you're listening. You did a fantastic job as well, my friend. Well done. Don't get too comfortable in the hot seat though, because I'll be back next week. This is the show for the fans, by the fans. Why? Because Mansfield always matters. The long trip to Bristol Rovers tomorrow, if you can't get, make sure you join us on Mansfield 103.2. Full match commentary on the way for you. Build-up starts at 1. Lee Wilson alongside me. I'll be taking buttercup syrup, cough sweets, honey and tea, the lot. But we'll get through it. And hopefully, Reece saves his mazy run until the 90th minute so my voice can survive it all. We'll see you again next week on the show for the fans, by the fans. Don't forget to come and say hello to us at the Fans Forum next Wednesday too. Have a fantastic weekend, and let's hope that the Stags can bring back 3 points from Bristol Rovers tomorrow afternoon. Until then, enjoy your weekend.